don't speak too much English, and especially when I come here, get nervous. Okay. But I want to make a statement, try to calm down myself. I believe it was the last time the public hearing was here, the same place. I think it was March. The reason I have public hearing because city attorney Steve called my previous attorney. Okay, he's not with me no more. Okay, so previous attorney told my previous attorney says we have new rule on the building department. Used to be you have permit job card, okay, then you can inspect last day, okay, but now we don't do that no more. Before 45 days before expire, you have to file extension. 45 days before permit expire, you file extension. For courtesy call, you're there like a good friend. Okay? Steve says to my attorney, Sam says, well, guess what? Tomorrow's last day, so you have 24 hours. Tomorrow you do not come to apply for extension, okay? Day about tomorrow is 44 days, so we're not giving extension. So courtesy call, you have to Simon, Jason to get that extension.
So you're saying that
last time public hearing, I think it was March.
Last March?
Yes.
And this is for which
No,
permit?
this year March.
For which permit?
With the permit 118.
The 29-118?
118 North Harbor Street.
The Harvard. Okay, so not this part.
This one. So this is important. This is important place here. So you only have 24 hour day. 24 hour. Tomorrow's the last day. If you did come tomorrow, after tomorrow, you'll be it's only 44 days. So we're not gonna give you extension no more. So that's why we filed. That's why we filed. Okay, we filed the property here. No, we filed the extension. I thought I'd be done. That's it. 45 days before. Then after that, and the city said, hey, we were going to do the public hearing. For extension, I have to do public hearing. Fine. So that's why I came to public hearing. And the building official, when you ask question about building official, okay, and says Javier. So when last time inspection, did they do any progress? So he told everybody, say no, he do not have any progress. After that, you give a Jason chance come up to talk. Jason come up, show the permit job card, you can sign up a couple times. We did have progress. Okay, so I think a city, somebody sitting upstairs, either city manager or Joe Mail or city manager, them, they direct him to something. Okay, to me, I have proof. I just don't say it right now. Okay, so I leave it that later on. Okay, no, that's done. That's fine. Okay, and all the year they try to destroy me. So I have a loan for maybe 1.4, 1.5 million dollars on two buildings. Okay, 118 North Harbor Street, 102 East Florida. Now, in the morning I have an inspection on 118 North Harbor Street. I pass. The second time I pass, Rob Electric. Okay, then I call. They go back, says to Harvey and say, okay, we're gonna release the power. Fire chief say no. Fire chief said no, don't give him power. Second time I pass rough inspection. Okay, same day in the morning, they send the code enforcement supervisor Lionel Martinez, okay, and the building official Jose. Jose at that time only worked city for only 2 months. So they sent him to my office, want to take down my corrugate facade. I have permit everything. So I won't show the whistleblower anyway. So then Jose said, no, I cannot do that. And the Lionel Martinez said, we cannot do that, he got a permit, we cannot do that. The city attorney told him, said, you just tell him we made a mistake. Okay, and the Lionel Martinez and the Jose, which is the previous building official, went to talk to Monique, this lady here. So then city attorney, and one of our party with our neighbor, they will work together. I have a text, they work together. Then the Monique said, because they said, hey, how come you put that facade like that? Monique pulled here and said, oh my God, I don't know why I proved that. She signed it. She proved it. Okay, that's from whistleblower, they say that, okay?
Okay, so I I wanna give you discretion to testify, but let's limit the comments to 102 East Florida Avenue, cause we're gonna have a whole nother hearing that a lot of.
Okay,
these-
102, that's fine, let's do it on 102, right?
Right.
102, I've been walked through the building 3 times with building official. I don't see the name, right?
Say
He
that.
already told me, Harbian. Okay, I don't say that before, you know, I try to keep his job. They don't listen, they get fired. He been told me 3 times, minimum 3 times in the job site, how am I gonna help you? Okay, if I help you, I have to be careful, I might get fired. Please do not subpoena me. I don't say this, I got no choice now. Okay, Joe Mill, don't want you keep the building, I want demo both building. Okay, I try to save the building for you. Okay, but I only can do so much. I can say more, but I don't want to say it. That'll be mess. That'll be mess.
This is your hearing. You say what you say if you think it's relevant.
Many times. Then about the wood, 102 East Florida. He said, well, I'm concerned the safety, fire. So is there any way you can demo the wood? I give you a permit. I said, good. Just like Jason mentioned, that's good. Okay, give me a permit. I will do the job. Okay, maybe demo. The wood anyway, I'm gonna demo because why? First of all, I didn't finish my job. That's my fault. Okay, that's my fault. Then now I come back want to do it because I have a lawsuit too. I have 2 lawsuits. Okay, one civil, one's criminal. The guy hit me in my parking lot twice. I got witness, co-enforcement supervisor, my star eyewitness. He saw that. Okay, he was the other cop, was a white cop. White cop said, I don't see it. So co-informant says, I cannot say speak for them. He saw the person hit me twice down the ground. So I came up, I think about it, what should I do? See, I'm gonna do it again. That's why I start fighting with him. What happened come to him? He was did the damage to my property at 102 South Harbor Street. Graffiti put on I have wet concrete, he put Simon Socks. So I took him a small clean court. Okay, then I served him. Then a week later, he came to my party. That's what happened. So I have a dealing with that. That came a couple of years. Finally, it was dismissed. Then he sued me for 170,000 for civil. Okay, so then toward the end, because I started eyewitness, so they want to settle. Because I sued in 17, you sue me a similar amount, I sued 17. So toward the end, I say, okay, you know what? I want to go to court. I want to have a jury trial. Okay, because I am so scared to go to Jamaica. I'm worried about I go down here, say the Chinese guy fight with white guy. You're done. Okay, I say I insist. I want a jury trial. Okay, attorney says it's going to be cost 75,000 for each. I said fine. I go borrow money to do it. Fine. Then they back off. They don't go jury trial. So all the way, then I have a judgment against that person. About $600. Okay, I never want him to pay it. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do this. I throw in that judgment $600. I just waive it. I just want the $1 from that person. Okay, so I only give me $2,500. That's it. Okay, that's it. Give me $2,500. Done deal. So his attorney says, well, give me a couple of days. That was Friday. So let me talk to my client and maybe he will come down. Maybe we'll settle this. So after we settle, I have him pay me $1, and I pay him $2,500. So that's another lawsuit. Totally take me about 3 years.
Okay.
Okay. So why I pay him $2,500? Because I talked to my friend, Laurie, used to be a mayor. I said, Laurie, what should I do? Laurie said, just pay him and get over it. I said, you don't have no time to do that. Okay.
So let's focus here. So do you have anything else that you want to add about 102?
I want anything I don't, then I will have my attorney present that. I have a lot of videos since then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's no videos.
That's okay.
Would you like me to close?
Do you want to present?
Yes.
Are you just doing closing, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I was gonna do that if you wanted me to.
Is
I have
your-
no more evidence.
No more evidence. There's no closing that's necessary. I would take the matter under submission. Do you guys have anything else?
And I have 2 more minutes, please. 2 minutes. please, I beg you, please. That's a lot for 20 years to give that to me. But you need
We
2
still have
months.
another hearing, so we still have time.
Yeah, wait for the next year.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so we'll take the matter under submission. I'll follow whatever procedure is present. Mr. Chu.
Sorry about that. I just get too excited. You come from this.
If you feel the need to speak, if your counsel will allow.
I mean, I think it might be quicker if I spoke.
Okay.
I can do it relatively quickly. I just want to mention, this Gibble building it isn't like, something down in San Diego, like the lighthouse, right? Where they have already determined that it's a historical, and it's on a list. But the Gibble building is actually historical. It was built in the 1890s. It was constructed from locally made brick. It's on the corner of Florida Avenue and State Street. You'll probably drive right by it. It has business origins. It has roots to Hemet. That's why it is so important. It was built by H.T. Hewitt in the 1890s and then sold to Isaac Gibble. It has gone facade improvements and seismic retrofits. Obviously, we have the notice of demolition, the order to abate. What Mr. Chu got was basically boilerplate. I don't think that it complied with the code that gives him a ample notice as to what is wrong or how to fix it. It was just, here is the notice, demo it, or appeal in 10 days. That's how vague it was. The premises here and after the structure is erected without the required building, electrical, plumbing, and or mechanical permits in violation of, obviously, the code. That was as specific as it got, which is about as clear as mud. It also said that the structure is unlawful, unsafe, and presents a threat to the public safety and welfare. I think that that is just as vague as what we heard today as to why this structure is quote unquote an imminent threat. That's the notice that he got. It had those 3 lines, and then lastly said any other applicable laws, ordinances, or statutes. That's overly broad. He got the order to demolish. It said demolish the structure, including all support beams, steel beams, basement, and debris, and restore the site to a safe and sanitary condition within 10 days. And then it said you have the right to appeal. Mr. Chu filed his appeal timely, and rather than file a boilerplate, I'm appealing standard form, he actually gave the city reasons why the city was wrong. And delineated those in his letter that was attached to the appeal. He indicated that permit history and good faith compliance, that he had done things with the permit. And I think it's very clear right now that Mr. Chu had at least 3 different permits, whether it's an A or a B, on this particular building. I think it's very obvious that the issues associated with that expiration of the 2019 permit that expired in May of 2021, it's apparent that they denied allowing him to reinstate that or extend it, and basically made him jump through a whole bunch of hoops that made him start all over at ground zero with the latest building permit that was submitted April 23rd, 2024. So, I think that that's a problem. He also noted that there was inappropriate and excessive plan review requirements. I think that there's been testimony related to that. Disruption by third-party checkers, that would be the, I can't pronounce pronounce the gentleman's name, but that building checker that believed that the plans that he was looking at were brand new, rather than a structure that had honestly been worked on off and on since 2014. That also caused delays. That's not Mr. Chu's fault. And then he, indicated that he felt like there was evidence of selective enforcement, meaning he's being treated differently than other people. First and foremost, we already talked about the B109-108. There was inspections performed by the city on April 20th, 2020 through November 2020. There were inspections by the deputy inspector, concrete footing inspections. That was from April 2024, 2020 through June of 2020. There were welding inspections, 19 of them, November 2020 through December 2020. It's absolutely nonsensical to say that the structure was erected without any permits, because you have these permits that even the building inspector officer admitted that there were. And given the fact that there were multiple inspections, they're not going to do inspections on something where there's no permit. And there's not going to be the job sheet or list that is related to the inspections to check off when an inspection is being done and what that date was. Again, I think the notice that he got was conclusory. There was no factual basis for it. And let's talk about whether or not it's unsafe. So not only do we have I'm getting them confused, Mr. Song's testimony, but there was a observation letter dated August 5th, 2024 from MS Consulting, who stamped the engineering observation, which indicated, "It is my opinion that the existing brick wall and concrete bond beam are safe with the partially complete seismic retrofit steel reinforcement. There is no need for the demolition of the existing brick wall and concrete bond beam. However, the design bolt connections between the steel column and the walls must be complete. Install as required by the 2022 building code with the appropriate citations. The ground floor concrete slab on grade with the roof and mezzanine wood floor framing and sheath shall be installed in accordance with the structural seismic retrofit plan provided with our office in order to complete the structural system. Completion of these improvements per structural seismic retrofit plan shall meet the minimum requirements under the 2022 California building code." Again, here is the timeline of all of the things that Mr. Chu has done to get this moving. 2014, 2016, 2017, 2018. Plans submitted for the reinforcement of the structure. Building permits, that's the building permit that we first spoke about today. Why was this construction disrupted? I mean, obviously I think people are irritated that it has taken some time, but you have to, what's the catalyst? What is the catalyst for this delay? However long you want to calculate it to. Well, one, Mr. Chu was involved he was a pedestrian and was hit by a vehicle by Mr. McPherson. These are the people that submitted a 64-page diatribe for you to take into consideration that had absolutely nothing to do with this hearing other than to badmouth Mr. Chu. That is who ran over Mr. Chu. He was injured. COVID-19 happens. We want to pretend like it didn't. We want to pretend was just a bad dream, but you know what? It really happened. People lost their jobs. In Simon's particular situation, he is self-employed. He is self-employed by being a commercial establishment landlord and doing all of these things to make downtown Hemet beautiful so that it is a city that is thriving with a downtown that is going to invite people in, because it just doesn't right now. So he's not getting paid. He's not making any money. He suffers financial setbacks. He's got McPherson, who is still causing him problems, following him, stalking him, harassing him, very similar to the 64-page treaty that was submitted yesterday at 4:30. He also had medical conditions, high blood pressure, cardiac functioning. Obviously that building permit expired. Legal issues, we already talked about that. He's dealing with even more collateral consequences related to COVID, related to being hit by a car, you know, the shutdown. He, given, you know, his profession, his trade, he doesn't get subsidies or any kind of assistance. Work to resume, we already talked about that, March 2023, March 23 through August 2023. Permit renewal denied. These plans have to be resubmitted from the ground up, meaning that all of the stuff that was done in 2014 and approved, all of the stuff that was done in 2019 and approved, no, you gotta start all over. And you know what? You know, it's not this simple, but I don't really like that black chair. So you know what? You're gonna have to take that out, even though it was approved in 2014. It's no longer approved now. That is basically what he was dealing with in the April 2024 permit. Submit new plans. I think that he even indicated that they're still in play. I mean, it's just constant hurdles. The third-party review will then it's whoever it was before that, submit this, submit that, and there's really nobody paying any attention to what's being submitted, what's not being submitted. Simon's just doing everything wrong. Start over. There was conversations about code complaints. Some of the stuff unfortunately has nothing to do with Simon, and obviously he's a building owner. It is his responsibility. Just like if my daughter drives my car and she wrecks it, that's gonna be my responsibility. But at the end of the day, if somebody hits my car while my daughter's driving, that person's at fault, even though my daughter's in an accident. That's the same thing with Simon's buildings. He's responsible for them, but somebody is messing with the railing on the sidewalk. That isn't even his. It isn't even his responsibility to take care of. The broken windows, you know, there was discussion about that, and there were photos where the plyboard in some windows was properly in there, other was coming out. You know, the other thing that they were complaining about like how it looks on the outside, because it's been a while since they did the outside stucco. Well, they tried to get approval for murals, and that is part of, you know, the whole, I don't know what to call it, the downtown Hemet specific plan. It talks about doing murals, and he wanted to do those in compliance with what is in this book. He was told no. Obviously, there's graffiti. There's nothing we can do about people, kids, homeless people, drug users, whatever, doing graffiti on our buildings, on our cars, wherever it may be. So to hold him responsible for conduct of other people these code violations or code complaints, I think is unfair. When Mr. Chu, buildings there was red tags that were removed, they accused Mr. Chu. Somebody earlier today said something about homeless people doing construction in the Gimmel building. That's preposterous. That has no factual basis whatsoever. You know, the sign shop, he tried to get, when things were red tagged, he tried to get some of his personal property, his own personal property out. They told him no. And then they want him to go through their process so that he can go into a building that's his and just grab his personal stuff. Obviously, I mentioned this. Yes. Is it a concern? It's taking too long. Yes. What's that catalyst? It's the city. It's the city, it's the contractors that the city has decided to utilize for engineering, structural engineering, third-party opinions. Those are the delays. The delays are caused by them, not Mr. Chu. And somebody even said it earlier today, right at the end, about how on whatever meeting there was on the 11th of June, I think it was Wildan, was supposed to get back to Mr. Chu regarding the finalization or what their thoughts were on this April 2024 plan. He was told it would be relatively soon. It's August 1st, and you heard from Simon and you heard from his structural engineer, they haven't gotten anything. So to complain constantly and point the finger at Simon, you're the delay, it's your fault, I think has absolutely no basis whatsoever. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. They're dragging their feet also. And whether or not that is specifically biased towards Mr. Chu, it sure seems like it. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. To the extent that one of the building individuals had an investigation done related to her treatment and her decision-making regarding Mr. Chu's rejects. So is there bias? Yeah. Obviously, an unfinished building doesn't look good. Why isn't it finished? Because there's been delays. The majority of those delays are because of the city. I think that it's been pretty apparent that the incomplete status of the building right now is in a life or death situation for anyone. There's been nobody that has been hurt as a result, thankfully. I think it's a stretch. I think it's a stretch to say trash is a problem. These boards are a problem. It's just really not fair. Plus, if you want somebody to put these boards on properly or fix them, you have to give them the access or permission to do that. And they've already explained when there's a red tag, which I think is very, very odd that somebody that doesn't even work for the city and had not been working for the city for 4 months, that their name was on those red tags in March of 2024. I already talked about that. Obviously, I think the McPherson family's a problem. I'm not gonna talk about that anymore because I think it's been pretty apparent who we're talking about. You know, Mr. Chu has done, you know, what he can with the parameters that he has been given. I don't think that it is fair to destroy that building. And you heard from multiple people earlier today about how they didn't want that destroyed. Mr. Chu has a vision and he wants to make it great, right? He's just not getting the help. There are people that are involved that are making decisions that aren't making decisions on an objective basis. It's this subjective thing. And I think it's really clear that that's what's happening. And that's not how they're supposed to function. They're supposed to be fair. They're supposed to help developers because it helps everyone. It helps the community. I think that in this situation, demolishing to the ground the building is the worst thing that you could do. Is there less restrictive things that can happen absent completely demolishing that building that's been here since 1890? Yeah, that would be the city actually approving these permits, getting a little bit of fire under them, and let him prove that he wants to complete the project and he's not dragging his feet.
Okay. So one of the things that was stated is that there was by Mr. Song, that there was going to be a permit that was submitted in the next few weeks. Are we talking, like, are you committing to a timeline on the submission of the new permit?
Well, my understanding, and everybody can correct me if I'm wrong, he's waiting for Weldon to respond from that June 11th meeting before he can finalize.
At this point, he's finishing up. Now, he's got his direction, he's finishing up, and he should be done pretty soon to be able to send it.
I don't know what pretty soon means. My kids say pretty soon and, you know.
Okay. All right. So I hear you. Okay.
You say so.
No.
So I actually need to start another hearing in a second, but like,
Can I briefly?
yeah, you go. So can you give me 2 seconds to respond to this?
Long pause.
I just want to urge your officer to consider its duties. And that's ultimately why we're here today. We've heard a lot of talk about personalities, possible animosities, but what's important here today is making sure that this building no longer endangers any person. And what we've seen is there may have been some plans, there may have been some permits, but ultimately, this is August 1st, 2025, this building is still dangerous, and we have no progress. And I think there were some talks about, whether an engineer thinks this is safe or not. California law says the building official decides whether a building is safe or not. California law says the building official can order demolition of buildings. And if we look at the engineer's reports and testimonies, it's limited at best. It's a visual observation. They acknowledge that more work actually needs to be done, and it never passed a final inspection. And that's a common theme. There may be some attempts to comply, but never a true follow. So what we've seen today is that this project may be too large, too complicated, and possibly too expensive to actually complete. So when we recommend demolition, this is truly our last resort. We're not saying that, we're not jumping to any conclusions. This has been a 20-year struggle. And to get to this point, we've seen the culmination of all that effort. And so far it's produced nothing. And so we are asking demolition, not because it satisfies anyone's ego, whatever, is to protect the public safety. And that's ultimately why we're here today. Thank you.
Before you go, clarify, so the roof was taken off in 2019. So if the roof was taken off in 2019, then we basically have a public safety issue that's about 6 years old. So within that 6 years old, like, kind of period, things seems like the speed of the escalation between the normal code enforcement process, notice like office conferences, citations, like that did not appear in front of me, and that is concerning to me. So I want to give you an opportunity to respond to, like, kind of why jump immediately to, because the way that the record reads is that you have a problem property, and then the parties are working together, and then, you know, like, magically in May, we made a decision that you're gonna, like, demo the building. So why go from they're working together to demolition within a month?
The case is unusual because the city has been working with Mr. Chu for a long time to try to get this building repaired. So the city should not be, I guess, punished for attempting to work with the property owner. That has always been the case in here, and that's why we've had testimony too. That's why some cases weren't pursued, because the city was attempting to work with Mr. Chu or his representatives in this case. There was no jump. To say that he had no notice of what was going on.
I didn't say no notice, it said that there's, like, other code enforcement methods, admin site, criminal site, like some levels below, like, demo building. There's a lot of other things that, like, that I know of that can be done. I just didn't hear any of those, like, kind of testified to. So why, like, not go criminal site or go admin site or give him, like, a strict timeline before, is that if you don't do, like, complete the plan check process within 2 months, then, like, then we're gonna go to demo. Like, there still seems to be, like, there's steps that, like, either I missed, or, like, I wanted to hear from you, like, how do you connect those dots where you go from, like, what it sounds like is, like, working together to demo.
The remedy that we're asking is big because the problem is big. And it's not appropriate to take these little steps or escalating steps to address it, because we've worked with Mr. Chu for a very long time, and we've seen that attempts to get voluntary compliance, which is what those escalating steps are really for, to get voluntary compliance. It will not work. And that is why we're asking for demolition.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll take the matter under submission. It is 4 o'clock. I don't think we're going to do be able to do the testimony of the building official, for the second hearing. With that said, as I indicated earlier, I am not available in August for the hearing. So when are the parties available to come back?
Well, the city wants to accommodate council's trial schedule, obviously, so I think an early date in September might be appropriate, if that works for everyone.
That could definitely work for me.
And I should be done with my homicide trial at the latest, the last week of August, so depending on the day in September, I can be available.
With the 4th work for, that's my birthday, so, like, I'm volunteering my birthday. I'm willing.
I don't think you should come for your birthday. But if you want to, you can.
Why don't we do, you know what, I wanna get this done, so, we can do the 3rd. Does this 3rd work for everybody? No?
Yes.
Doctor's appointment that day. You know what, it's far enough out, I think I can move it though.
Okay, all Alright, so we'll do the third.
And are we gonna do it at 9?
Yes. And we'll just assume that, that structurally it's gonna be the same as today, and it's gonna take similar amount of time, so we'll just plan on having a full day together.
That one's a little bit easier, I think.
I plan to do this one in an hour and a half. So.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It was very clear early on that that wasn't gonna happen. During public comment, I realized that wasn't gonna happen. So so we will come back on the 3rd, and then, but it will be structured the same, and, we'll handle it. We'll get the opinion out ASAP. All right, thank you everybody for coming.